Have you ever felt a hunger that no amount of success, no amount of money, no amount of anything could ever satisfy? A constant knowing feeling that no matter what you achieve, it's just never enough? It's a feeling many of us know, a silent ambition that whispers, just a little more. But what if that whisper isn't leading us to a better place? What if it's leading us into a trap? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most powerful and misunderstood forces in our lives, greed. And we're going to explore not just what it is, but how it subtly shapes our world, our minds, and our happiness. Stick around, because by the end of this, you might see the world and yourself in a completely new light. Let's start with a powerful image. Picture a man at the head of a magnificent banquet table. The table is overflowing, not with food, but with shimmering gold coins, sparkling jewels, and priceless artifacts. The light hits the scene dramatically, creating deep shadows and bright highlights, almost like an old painting. But as you look closer, you see the truth. The single apple on his plate is rotting. The slice of bread is turning to ash in his hand. Despite being surrounded by unimaginable wealth, he is starving. His face isn't one of triumph. It's a mask of utter despair. This is the first and most brutal truth about greed. It promises satisfaction but delivers only emptiness. It's the ultimate bait and switch. We chase external things, money, possessions, status, believing they will fill an internal void. We think, if I just get that promotion, that car, that house, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be secure. But greed is a moving target. The moment you acquire what you desire, the goalpost shifts. The satisfaction is fleeting, instantly replaced by the next desire, the next must-have. It's a banquet of ashes, a feast that leaves you hungrier than when you began. Now, let's explore this void a little differently. Imagine a person standing alone in a vast empty desert. The sun beats down and there's no end in sight. But the most surreal part is this. They have a large hollow space right in the center of their chest. It's a literal void. In their hands, they hold a pitcher of crystal clear water, the very symbol of life and relief. They begin to pour the water into the hole in their chest, desperate to quench a deep internal thirst. But the water doesn't stay. It flows straight through them, disappearing into the sand below. No matter how much they pour, the void remains empty. They are forever thirsty. This is the psychological reality of greed. It creates an infinite void within us. We try to fill it with external validation, with possessions, with the admiration of others. But these things are like water poured into a bottomless pit. They can't fill a space that was meant for something else entirely, for connection, for purpose, for love, for meaning. Greed convinces us that the solution is outside of ourselves, so we keep pouring, we keep accumulating. We keep striving for more, never realizing that the problem isn't the amount of water, but the hole itself. We're trying to solve an internal problem with an external solution, and it's a strategy doomed to fail every single time. It's a cycle of perpetual dissatisfaction. This brings us to one of the most common manifestations of greed in our modern society, the relentless pursuit of status. It's a toxic cocktail, a mix of greed and pride. Let's visualize this. Imagine a person in a sharp, expensive suit shot from a low angle to make them seem powerful, dominant. They're climbing a ladder that stretches endlessly upwards towards a blindingly bright golden light. But this isn't a normal ladder. The rungs are made of the backs and shoulders of other people. Each step they take is on top of someone else. The entire scene is bathed in a cold, sterile blue light, emphasizing the isolation and ruthlessness of the climb. Their eyes are fixed on the light above, completely oblivious to the people they are using as stepping stones. This is the social cost of unchecked ambition. When greed becomes intertwined with our identity, success is no longer about personal growth or contribution. It becomes a zero-sum game. For me to win, someone else must lose. This mindset breeds a culture of competition over collaboration, of exploitation over empathy. We start seeing people not as fellow human beings, but as resources to be used or obstacles to be overcome on our climb to the top. This pursuit of status is incredibly isolating. At the top of that cold, lonely ladder, you might find the golden light you were chasing, but you'll also find yourself completely alone, having sacrificed the very human connections that give life its richness and warmth. The suit is perfect, but the person inside is frozen. So we've seen the trap, the void, and the cold isolation of greed. It sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? It paints a picture of a life spent chasing shadows, forever hungry, forever thirsty, and ultimately alone. But this is not the end of the story. It doesn't have to be our story. Because for every poison, there is an antidote. And the cure for the sickness of greed is beautifully simple. It's generosity. Let's change the scene completely. The cold blue light dissolves, replaced by the warm golden glow of morning sunlight filtering through a lush green forest. Imagine a close-up shot, not of grasping hands, but of hands gently opening. As they open, they release a delicate, beautiful butterfly that flutters up into the light. Or perhaps the hands are breaking a piece of warm bread, offering a piece to another unseen hand. The focus is soft, the background is a beautiful blur of nature, and the feeling is one of profound relief, of freedom. This is the power of generosity. It is the complete opposite of greed's logic. Greed says, "What can I get?" Generosity asks, "What can I give?" Greed is about closing your fists to hoard. Generosity is about opening your hand to share. And here's the beautiful paradox. The more you give, the more you feel you have. When you help someone without expecting anything in return, when you share your time, your knowledge, or your resources, something amazing happens. That void inside, it doesn't need to be filled from the outside anymore. It starts to fill from within with a sense of purpose, connection, and genuine happiness. You are no longer pouring water into a bottomless hole. You are becoming a wellspring. The act of giving connects us to others in a real, meaningful way, breaking the isolation that greed creates. It shifts our focus from our own endless wants to the needs of others. And in that shift, we find a satisfaction that no amount of gold or status could ever provide. Think about it. The most memorable moments in our lives are rarely about what we acquired. They are about the moments we connected, the times we helped, the love we shared. Generosity is not about grand gestures or giving away fortunes. It's a daily practice. It's holding a door open, offering a genuine compliment, listening to a friend, sharing what you have, no matter how small. It's choosing collaboration over competition. It's seeing others not as rungs on a ladder, but as fellow travelers on this journey. The choice, ultimately, is ours. We can continue to feast at the banquet of ashes, chasing a satisfaction that will never come. We can spend our lives pouring our energy into a void that can never be filled. Or we can choose to open our hands. We can choose to be the source of warmth and light in a world that can often feel cold and dark. We can discover that true wealth isn't about what you can keep for yourself, but about what you can give to others. The path of greed leads to a dead end of despair. The path of generosity leads to a life of meaning, connection, and a freedom you never thought possible. What are your thoughts on this? Have you ever felt caught in the trap of more? Share your experiences in the comments below. Let us have a conversation about how we can all choose to open our hands a little more often. Thank you so much for watching and for thinking about these big ideas with me. If this resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more content that explores the deeper side of life. Until next time, take care and be generous.